a lot of people with great ideas and great inspirations. But then I think the only thing that has actually gone wrong in our day-to-day affairs and our day-to-day collaboration, it's the fact that most of the people around are not willing to invest in each other's activities or projects. So to me personally, a few days ago, I was actually watching some videos online, reading some articles, and I realized that, for example, the Chinese, for example, what they do is, um, if they realize that someone is into a business and that business can actually fetch a lot of money to for the state, what they do is they try to invest into that business to make sure that business will grow well. But in Africa, that is not done in Africa, and I don't see most people doing that because it's more like compete with each other, turn out to, in a way, to in Africa. So I think that is the major thing that I've noticed, and that has been one of the major problems that Africans are facing in terms of collaboration. So for development and also collaborations, and also as to what I said earlier in the aspect of not being supportive and in the aspect of collaboration, I also think that if I believe most of the people in Africa are visionary. So if we adapt a way to naturalize our ideas rather than living in our visions, we'll be able to do well and also collaborate well with others and seek guidance in any ways we do. Because we attend seminars day by day, we attend programs, impactful programs day by day. We listen to a lot of things online. We go attend a lot of programs. But then the question is, how has this program been beneficial to our lives? And how has this program helped us in our lives and in our businesses and in everything we do? So that is a big question that we have to answer. And yeah, I think we being on this platform, we would have to really talk about this whole issue and how to effectively collaborate and help each other in everything we do. So for now, that's the little I can say about the challenges I've noticed so far about collaboration. Thank you, Miss Janet.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nano Wisi. That was insightful. I want to come to Cabrel. Vous êtes là? Before I come to His Excellency Ididi. Cabrel, are you there?
Je suis là, Janet, je suis
Okay,
là.
okay, okay.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Cabrel, I know there's a collaboration with Madame Joël. And Winnie, if you are here, give me a thumbs up. There's a collaboration with Madame Joël and possibly even Winnie of Madagascar going on. How has it been so far? You can, I know you speak English, but wherever you find a difficulty, you can just switch to French. How has it been so far from collaborating from Central Africa to East Africa? Cameroon, you are, and you're collaborating in East Africa and West Africa with me. How has it been? What do you think that what's the extent of that collaboration going to be? Because even as it stands now, we are working on a couple of things. His Excellency Didi is working on an Africa Reformative Initiative Conference, big time, coming up in Uganda. Today we are addressing whatever you think that the impact of youth collaboration on the African continent is kindly put it in the in chat box. So Cabral, let's have your take on that. What do you think that is, and what challenges do you think we need to overcome? Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janet, for the possibility that you give us to discuss with all the young people of our our Africa about the that I can tell is that with with children of Africa, with the young people of Africa, we have begin to discuss about the different problem that youth uh, youth get in their life. So uh, uh, now so for resolve that problems for resolve that problems we have many difficulty. I will begin with the first problem, education problem. The challenge that we have to construct a better education for our Africa. The first challenge is the possibility for all the young people to the possibility of all to young people to be the first actor of the education to of the education. The first actor how? The first actor in the first actor in the how can I say it? The first actor in participation to construct a political a polit, politic public a public political a, in the first actor to construct the public political education. So that's the first thing, and the young people must be on on the the place that we take the decision. So the first the young man must be in in the place that we take the decision to to make that political that each year be a law for their country. How can I say it? I'm sorry for my
You
English.
can say it in French, don't worry. Winnie is here.
It's not easy for me to speak it fluently.
Say it in
Thank you.
French.
If I can say it in French, it's good.
Yeah, say it in
Donc,
French.
ce que j'étais en train de dire, ce que j'étais en train de dire, c'est que les premiers travaux que nous avons menés avec les jeunes, c'était d'abord d'identifier les problématiques qui sont liées aux jeunes. Parmi les problématiques qui sont liées aux jeunes, il y avait les problématiques d'emploi, il y avait les problématiques d'éducation, il y avait les problématiques de santé et, les problématiques de participation sociale. Alors, euh, si nous prenons par exemple les problématiques d'éducation, qui sont des problématiques, qui sont l'une des problématiques les plus répandues sur tout le continent. Le premier défi que nous avons, nous, en tant que jeunes, à relever est de pouvoir permettre que les jeunes définissent eux-mêmes ce qu'ils veulent en termes d'éducation pour demain. Et pour pouvoir relever ce défi, il faudrait que les jeunes fassent partie des acteurs qui construisent les politiques publiques de l'éducation à la fois dans nos pays et sur nos continents. Et c'est la raison pour laquelle, avec des organisations territoriales, nous travaillons donc à former les jeunes dans la participation sociale, notamment en suivi des politiques publiques sectorielles concernant l'éducation, en, en mise en œuvre des politiques publiques sectorielles concernant l'éducation et aussi en construction des politiques publiques sectorielles concernant l'éducation. Le deuxième défi que nous avons, c'est de pouvoir permettre aux jeunes d'être dans les sphères de prise de décision. C'est-à-dire que, vous savez, vous pouvez construire des politiques publiques parce que la construction des politiques publiques, c'est simplement la mise en œuvre ou alors la mise en synergie d'un ensemble d'idées qui définissent concrètement ce que vous voulez être demain. Alors, les jeunes peuvent bien se mettre ensemble et construire ces idées-là qui définissent le futur qu'ils veulent avoir pour leur continent, pour leur pays. Mais une fois que vous avez émis ces idées-là, émis ces propositions-là, ceux qui sont dans les sphères de prise de décision peuvent décider que ces propositions-là, ils les mettent de côté, ils ne les prennent pas en compte. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous avons donc dit qu'il faudrait que les jeunes puissent aussi être dans les sphères de prise de décision. Alors, pour mener ce genre de travail, ce que nous faisons concrètement, c'est que nous formons donc les jeunes, nous les préparons à intégrer les sphères de prise de décision au niveau peut-être de la commune. Parce que dans plusieurs pays, le domaine de l'éducation primaire relève de la compétence de la commune. Ce que nous faisons, c'est que nous formons donc les jeunes au niveau des communes Le premier niveau de formation, c'est la participation sociale. Comment est-ce qu'on construit les politiques publiques sectorielles? Comment est-ce qu'on les met en œuvre et comment est-ce qu'on les suit? C'est le premier niveau. Le deuxième niveau, donc, nous formons les jeunes pour qu'ils puissent être dans les sphères de prise de décision et qu'ils puissent prendre les décisions qui vont dans le sens de leur intérêt, de l'intérêt de la construction du futur qu'ils veulent pour l'Afrique. Là, et concernant ce travail, et concernant ce travail, les grands problèmes que nous avons rencontrés, ce sont les accompagnements de l'État, c'est le premier problème. Le deuxième problème, c'est la capacité à pouvoir mobiliser le maximum de jeunes possible sur le continent pour les associer à notre synergie. Voilà les deux grands problèmes que nous avons. Merci.
Merci, Cabrel. Thank you so much. Oh, so basically, Cabrel was talking about the problem of education, health, and public policy. The fact that the youth have to come together to actually, if I forget something, Winnie, you are here, okay, to actually contribute to the decision making process, putting to work their activities, coming together to construct public policies, coming together to make public policies. You know, we have private policies. Private. That's why we have private members bill, putting together those things so that we can actually come together, and then the ability to actually attract or pull the youth together to actually get interest in the activities of youth engagement programs as well. And he also spoke about the ability to give the youth the opportunity. Oh, Billy Robert, welcome. The ability to give the youth the opportunity to actually be part of government decision making processes. Thank you very much, Cabrel. Before we go to His Excellency Ididi, are you ready? I hope you're ready.
Sure, I'm ready.
Nice one, sir. Madame Joël, Joël, vous êtes là?
Madame Joël, vous êtes là?
Can we please mute ourselves? Richard, I'll give you the opportunity to talk. So can
Richard,
you
I'll
mute
give you the
yourself?
opportunity to talk. So can you mute yourself?
Thank you, Richard. Madame Joël, vous êtes là? Richard, kindly mute yourself, please.
Richard, kindly mute yourself, please.
Hello, I am Richard Bonyo. I'm from Kenya. I represent an organization called the Windbridge Blue and Green Economy Development Group based in a subnational area called Homa Bay County. I am a PhD student at University of Nairobi, and I'm a keen member of this group. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Richard. Thank you from Kenya.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Richard. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Richard. But please, next time, let us give you the opportunity. Anyways, Madame Joelle, are you here?
Oui, bonjour à tous, bonjour, bonsoir. Je suis de Madagascar. Je suis très heureuse de vous rejoindre. Le seul problème, c'est que Gabriel devra faire une traduction en français. Je suis francophone. Et je demande aussi à Gabriel et à Janet de faire pour la traduction de ce que je dis là. Je suis responsable de volontariat et du partenariat de l'ONG FAFED à Madagascar, Fédération des associations des femmes et développement. Merci Janet et merci à tous.
Merci, Madame Joelle. So, Madame Joelle Alijimi is from Madagascar. She's one of the key members in Madagascar driving youth empowerment activities, speak about human rights, gender protection, sexual reproduction education. She is actually in charge of an organization about volunteering and partnerships and collaborations, and she's been doing great back there in Madagascar, and she's been able to work with Cabral and I on a couple of things. So these are some of the collaborations we look out for. Now, His Excellency Ididi, we have come to you. You from Uganda, you are working on a couple of activities, Your Excellency. We want to know the impact, and today we want to know the impact and the challenges of youth collaboration on the African continent. So His Excellency Ididi Rushbell Ididi the Eighth, your name is quite long, Ididi Rushbell Ididi the Eighth of Uganda, kindly unmute yourself and then take us through the impact, because very soon you are the next Julius Malema or Joshua Maponga or Jordan Patson or whoever, who knows. Please unmute yourself and let's have your take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Janet Dako, the previous speakers, Nana also, Gabriel Carter, and everyone else who I haven't mentioned, with due respect and the observant to your respective capacities. I am Ididi Roche. The 2063, the Africa that we want. It has been something very great working on youth collaboration, because Africa is the future, as we always proclaim. And without regarding the youth, then we are looking at the dooming of the Africa in the near future. Looking at the statistics of the African youth population right now, we find out that 75% of the African population is the youth. And these are over 454 million youth in Africa who are from the age of 17 up to 35. And who are among them, 60% of them are not in the job market. And obviously, the youth is high. You look at Uganda, it is also high. You look at Rwanda, it is high. You look at Ghana, it is high. You look at Kenya, it is high. And when you look at the policies, when you look at the establishments, the government projects, when you look at the African Union projects, they are too to support the growing population of the youth. So first and foremost, I would want first of all to regurgitate on the issues that African states have recently been running through, particularly when you look at 5 days ago, I saw the president of Madagascar, who is none other than His Excellency Andre, who was in Rwanda, and one of the reasons as why he was there is to see how the government of Madagascar and the government of Rwanda can invest in a cooperation and a business that would build two countries. And we see that their investment is showcasing a lot of opportunities. And who is going to benefit from these opportunities? It means that African youth. Because at one point, President Andrew was a young man and he was a youth. Today, we are young people, but tomorrow we are the elders and we are the one to lead Africa. One time back, the leaders of African states, those ones who want for Africa independence, were young people. And so what happened is that they became old and now we are the youth. So the more we handle these things strategically, is the more that we shall build our society, our community very well. Let us look at the challenges. I mean the opportunities in collaboration of the African youth. First and foremost, I would like to deal with the African states projects, economic projects, him. And if he has been there, then the community right now in Libya there is all developmental more than how it was then. And it would be an opportunity for countries in Africa, specifically in West Africa, to have been united if Gaddafi was there. So now you can see the division because we the youth are divided. We are taking things personal. We are not developing our mental state. And we really want to be successful at a faster rate. So I call upon us to see that get information, we bring those people in the diaspora, we don't take things personal, we become intellects of ideas, but we don't become intellects of action. We love talking, we do less. We need quick reach methods. We don't do things in a right way. You want shortcuts. You don't take things in a strategic order. And that is where we are. And that is the challenge that we youth are facing. At the same time, if I have authority or power, I don't want somebody else to come before me. I will see Nana also as somebody who wants to take my authority. We are not fighting the war of ideas, Africans. We are fighting the wars of surviving the race. We have to live. We have to implant the idea of Africanism to our future. And if we plant the ideas to the people below us, that the race is for the strong. If you're weak, you will be predated on. If you're strong, you'll protect your race. And now ahead of us, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, what will you say and what will people say about you? What they will say about you should be what should be said about Africa. Yesterday, I was discussing with Dr. Matsanga about the ideas, protocols, the conventions of African Union. And he told me about Malabo Protocol. Malabo Protocol is a protocol that was developed by African Union in 2014. And this protocol states that Africans must come up with the African Court of Justice and Human Rights. The protocol is not going to work side by side with the International Criminal Court. And the Malabo Protocol states it clear that it will not become functional until all African states ratify it. And can you believe that out of 55 African states, only 15 have subscribed, but none of them has ratified? these protocols? Who is supposed to work on these conventions? We, the youth. If we don't have information concerning these protocols, I am telling you the truth and the reality. Malabo Protocol, the Maputo Protocol, all these protocols will not work. So I call upon everybody here and everybody watching across the world that the person who is going to promote the Africa that we need and implanting the idea of the African Renaissance, the development of technology in this fourth industrial age, is all about the young people. If we think that we don't have anything to provide for Africa, then don't stop those ones who believe that they can provide for Africa. The Africa that we want is really run by the first world and second world countries. You look at the industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution, fourth industrial revolution. None of them has been implemented by African countries. Right now, we are just adopting them, but you can't hear of the technology that has been developed in here in Africa. The satellite recently of Uganda was launched in the United States. I saw the satellite of Kenya was launched in the United States. A satellite of Uganda to be launched in the United States, of Kenya to be launched in the United States. You see the challenge of the youth? We are innovating, but when you innovate, where do you take your patents rights? Where do you go? Young people, we need to wake up, because they will play us and use us as weapons of mass destruction to our own people. The challenge is we don't want to learn very fast. So this one here is an opportunity for us to learn very fast, to join hands very fast, to take our continent very fast in this era of gene changing, in this era of biometric and technological advancements. There is nothing we can do if we don't put this in the hands of the youth. So I call upon us, those ones who have ability, to always take a hand to somebody behind you and give him information. Inform them. Keep at one time and period P, somebody will say, oh yeah, somebody has ever spoke about this. Let me take time and regurgitate, and maybe it will work out. And that is an opportunity that you'll have changed somebody's life. And when you change somebody's life, just know you have changed the community. And when you have changed the country. When you change the country, you have changed the region, and the region goes to the continent. This is where the youth should now be aiming at. Otherwise, I will inform you that we are organizing the Global Youth Pan-African Party in Uganda in the month of November, that is from 20th up to 22nd. And we call upon all youth, regardless of your gender, regardless of your religion, your language. We believe that we are one people, and we must be in that to see how the youth contribution to socio-economic transformation of Africa. If I may speak more, then that one is less. Please let me first stop there.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Ididi. You have spoken vast about us waking up and rising to the occasion. Like I said, today is all about discussions. I wanted to type in the general question, but this is the general question to all of us. The impacts of youth collaboration and the challenges we are facing. Thank you so much. We've heard from Cameroon, we've heard from Madagascar, we've heard from Ghana, we've heard from Richard came to speak and he left, from Kenya as well. Now, please, if Honorable Enomi Christanso Singome is here from Cameroon. He happens to be the Chief of Service of Ministry of Youth Affairs, Cameroon. Honorable, kindly talk to us a little bit on collaboration and volunteering. How do you think all these will contribute to impact the African continent? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane, and we want to appreciate you first of all for the honor, and I'm saying sending my greetings to all brothers and sisters who are the panelists this evening to join us to talk about our continent. Uh, if I might say something about youth collaboration, and at the same time, in terms of volunteerism, it's all about service for humanity and community. We first of all have to understand that young people are contributing daily to the benefit of their communities and the nation across Africa. Uh, they provide support to the elderly, they advocate for justice, they advocate for peace, they advocate for equality. Young people have proven their centrality to building and sustainable and sustaining healthy communities. But then we've realized that despite the fact that the African youth have the resources, necessary resources that they need, but yet we've not yet harnessed these resources. Youth empowerment is a key role that needs to be put forth. Youth empowerment can help Africa create decent jobs. It can help Africa reduce poverty. It can help Africa promote economic growth when effectively planned and implemented. You know, the challenges facing the sources of youth empowerment in some African continents or countries, in African countries, include corruption, which we can undermine, bad governance, and political instability. But then we can't say that despite all these odds, we just need to fold our arms as young persons without doing something to see how we can contribute our own quota towards nation building and how Africa needs to grow. And how can the youths of Africa contribute to empowering the future of the continent? That is a key question we need to ask ourselves. We need to encourage these youths through service for humanity, that is volunteering. We need to encourage them by starting petty businesses, creating employment opportunities for themselves and others through entrepreneurship. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, when we look at Africa today, young entrepreneurs can contribute a lot towards the development of their communities and the continent as a whole. At the same time, entrepreneurship in itself can drive innovation and creativity. You know, another aspect we're lacking in is when we talk about entrepreneurship, permit me to talk about the practical case, we think that it's all about business. Yes, it's business. But entrepreneurship to me, I look at it as like you detecting a problem and proposing a solution. And that's what is lacking in the minds of many Africans. That mindset education where a youth cannot first of all detect what is happening in his or her own community. And if you cannot dictate what is happening in your community, you cannot collaborate, you cannot partner, you cannot network. But if you are able to detect what is happening around you, if you are able to prioritize these problems with the community, involving them, including them, it will enable you to see how you can enable the community to grow and to move from one stage of development to another. So you see, it's all about making the Africans believe that they can do something, improving social skills, improving behavior, increasing academic accomplishment, increase self-esteem, and increase self-efficacy. And all these results, you will see how they empower the African programs and youths themselves. So we have a long way to go. We have a lot to do, but yet the African youths in particular are still lacking. But to me, there are some ways youths can contribute towards most especially economic development. As I earlier mentioned, they can contribute, they can start their own businesses, they can work in existing businesses, they can even volunteer their time and skills to help build up communities. Today we are celebrating the International World Youth Day, and the key message I've passed across majority of youth in Cameroon is upskill. That is my key message. Choose a sustainable and SDG and see how you can make it sustained. No matter what we do, the involvement in youth in essential projects and essential programs or activities, it's a future to our communities. So to me, it's all about making the youths believe that they, despite the certificates they get now in the society on the African continent, does no longer count. It's all about the skills, soft skills, It's all about building skills. It's all about improving on yourself, self-confidence, self-motivation. You should be humble, you should be polite, and you should be able to contribute the little you can contribute towards nation building and the community. So, Jane, at this moment, I will say I will end at this time, at this level. I still have a lot to contribute as we are moving on. As I earlier maybe I explained my situation to you. I'm sure as we are in the course of our discussion, I'll still come in to contribute. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Enome Christantos. And what makes this whole his discussion so amazing is that his daughter is in intensive care, but he has had the time to come, and we wish her speedy recovery, sir. Thank you so much. And as time goes on, like we said, we're going to have more of these discussions. And you know, one beautiful thing I thank God about thank God for this discussion is that we are being exposed to cultural differences and we are accepting them. Cabral is from Cameroon, but he speaks French. Mr. Christantos is from Cameroon. Look at how fluent he is in English. They have two major official languages. But look at how we've been able to all collaborate and come together to express ourselves. Idid is actually teaching me Swahili. Is it Swahili? I think Kiswahili. And then I have a friend from Congo teaching me Lingala. And in fact, if you are ready to learn Chi, and then Malgash is here from Madam Joa. Winnie, if you are here, you can give us a thumbs up. Richard, you are from Kenya. Like, the diversity is just too much. I just thank all of you for making the time. I know who's is ready to teach you guys Chi and probably Ga. And of course, if you are there's one very, very wise woman here who has always pushed and contributed to every development of the youth. And I always say this wherever I go. She said, I alone am enough to make the change I want to see. And ladies and gentlemen, if you see a name like AC Eduafua say, if I let me pin it so that people see it, yes. If you see this, then that is who she is. She has been supporting the youth all through. She's been supporting us. That's all I have to say. She's been supporting us great. Thank you so much for making the time, Mr. Christantos. You have spoken beautifully well. Upscale. That is actually true. And we're going to do much of that. Thank you so much. Nano Wusu, let me come to you. You yourself, you are even a student and you've started a lot of things. Richard, please have patience for me. I'll come to you. It's just that I wish you could mute your mic a little. It's quite loud when you are speaking. Is starting alone the problem? Is looking for partners the problem? Or is money and investments the problem? We have spoken. I think collaborating, and to me, my biggest problem on the African continent is internet. You know, I was live streaming and due to internet, it cut off. So I have to record on my laptop and then finish, do the edit and then upload. So if you don't have these digital skills, then you're going to have to look for someone who has that skill and is going to take a look. But because I have that skill, I am actually, after here, going to do the editing, smoosh them together and then actually broadcast it. So is starting alone the fear? In fact, sometimes it can be a very great fear, but if there's anything at all we should overcome is fear. Is starting alone the problem? Is looking for partners and collaborators the problem? Because today, thank God we have proven that language barrier is not too much of a problem. Because whatever you do, there's someone who speaks a language somewhere. Whatever you do. In fact, one time, Ididi sent me a whole lot of sentences in Kiswahili. And I was looking through and he read it to me. I saw that it was actually a lovely language. And there's a friend teaching me sign language and I'm teaching the friend French. Meanwhile, I'm Anglophone. There's someone teaching me Lingala. Someone is ready to teach. Like, language barrier has been the minuscule of every problem. It's actually not a problem today to me. That's what I say. So what exactly? Oh, welcome, Marilyn Yabua. So great to see you. So great to see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
In fact, Dr. S is here, so you can wave a hi. People from Uganda, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Cameroon, Madagascar, South Africa are all here. They are joining from different continents.
Hello,
Yeah, thank you so much, Marilyn.
everyone.
Thank you. So, continuing, this is an open question, but I'm going to start with Nano. So if you have any response, you can ask. Richard, please, I'll come to you. You could actually type their responses. Is starting alone the problem, or is money and investment the problem? Nano, so let's start with you.
Okay, thank you very much, Janet, and thank you all for being on this platform. I'm actually learning a lot in as much as I'm actually also giving out. So the question, as in starting alone being a problem or not, what I know is from the little experience I've gathered, what I know is starting alone isn't the problem, because if you know what you are up to, you believe in the possibilities of your vision, you believe in everything you are doing, and you know you have laid down plans and measures on how to go by them, bit by bit, the each step to move at a time. I think you shouldn't have any fear in starting something. So for me, fear is actually not part of my dictionary, though, because for me, I don't think I have fears in anything I do, because I know what I'm up to, and I give myself time to learn from my mistakes. And me personally, what I do is I assess myself most of the times, so I don't give room for fears. And with the second one, to talking about collaboration either being a problem or not,
Money and investment.
collaboration, I would say, okay, money and investment being a problem, I would say in the global part, in Africa, for example, with the aspect of collaboration and other things, to me, it became a problem, but that wasn't a major problem for me, because I knew if made measures, placed measures in place to actually get all things set for me, there wouldn't have been a problem. So, as our last speaker just spoke about, I think what I give myself is time, and I give myself space to make sure I make things work. That is putting down some measures on how to get some funds and everything to run whatever I'm doing, and also yeah. So sometimes it all depends on the quality of your vision, because if you present your vision well to some people, looking at the things that you have and looking at letting them understand the future of what you are doing, they will be able to understand and help in collaborating with everything. And also with the money aspect of whether money is needed now or not. I believe that since we are in a digital world, we can still organize programs at no cost, since the internet can actually give us good sound and other things. We can organize programs, connect people from all over the world to join and also listen to us. So though it plays a factor in whatever we do, but that is not the main reason, and that's not the main cause of everything.
Thank you very much, Danous. And speaking of assessing yourself, Mr. Krinstato said something about knowing the trends in your community or knowing the trends around you. Situational awareness is very, very, very important. Situational awareness, very, very important. We need to know what happens around us. We need to be smart. We need to know our weaknesses, our strengths, where we think we need to develop, where we think we need to. I never knew I could be a two-time founder. I was just there and I started founding stuff. So I never, and then I knew there were people who actually had the digital skills, the social capital, who had financial capital, and now I still can't believe I'm investing. It's a thing. So in fact, certain fear shouldn't be our problem, because we have love, sound mind, and boldness from God. So we need to know that. Thank you very much for that. Richard, now I'm coming to you. Richard, if you are here, please unmute yourself so that we can listen to you. Richard of Kenya, Richard Bonyo. Richard?
Yes, thank
Yes, Richard. Let's
you so
have your
much.
take.
This is Richard from Kenya.
Yes.
Yes, Richard, let's have it.
Okay, Richard, we are listening.
Yeah, I am Richard Bonyo from Kenya, University of Nairobi, PhD student, and the founder. Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, we are. We are.
Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Hello.
We can hear you talk. Talk. Richard, we can hear you. Hello, Richard. Okay, if Richard is not ready, Winnie.
Impact
Okay,
to
okay.
develop local solutions to address the grievous impacts of climate change. One thing that we are looking at is management and improvement in rural communities of Kenya, especially in the western part of Kenya. We are also looking at biodiversity conservation using indigenous knowledge and information. Yes. Hello.
Talk, talk.
Are we together? The money today, what can give the money right now, not what can give the money tomorrow or the other month or the like. They create avenues for sick health, they create avenues for early death, and they create avenues for immobility among our youth. So at Winfridge, we are trying to train our youth to live a life of focus, as was said earlier by other speakers in this particular youth conference. We are looking at a way in which the youth in Africa can view life somewhat differently than they are looking at it at the moment. That means that we look at life from the land perspective, from the environment.
Okay, I think we keep losing Richard. Madame Joël, si vous êtes là, j'aimerais que vous nous donniez quelques paroles sur l'importance de volontariat entre les jeunes.
African youth.
Okay, Richard, you have to wrap up for us. You have to wrap up for us, okay? So that you can type the rest in the in chat box. That would be great. Okay?
Household
Richard, do you mind typing it in the in chat
as a whole.
box?
So
We keep
the
losing
Winfridge
you.
Blue and green.
Est-ce que je peux parler un peu, Janet?
Donne-moi, oui, tu peux parler, mais j'aimerais que Richard. Ok, tu peux parler maintenant.
Qu'est-ce j'ai pas bien saisi la question que tu me demandes. Tout à l'heure, j'ai eu un petit souci de connexion et j'ai pas pu suivre.
Oui, les problèmes de
Est-ce que tu
connexion en
peux me
Afrique,
faire un petit résumé?
ça intervient tout le temps. Ok.
Oui. Est-ce que tu peux me faire un...
Oui, je te demandais l'importance du volontariat entre les jeunes sur le continent Afrique. Sur l'Afrique, oui. The importance of volunteering amongst the youth on the African continent. Si tu peux nous donner quelques paroles sur ça.
Ok.
Oui, merci.
Euh, je, je vais parler du cas de Madagascar
Oui,
et après je vais parler un peu du volontariat au
oui,
sein de
oui,
l'Union
oui,
africaine.
oui, oui, oui.
Euh, à Madagascar, À Madagascar, 62% constituent, 62% de la population sont constitués par des jeunes. Et ces jeunes-là sont vraiment engagés sur le volontariat à Madagascar et les domaines d'intervention sont multiples. Il y a l'éducation, la santé sociale, le développement local, l'environnement, le changement climatique. Donc, tous les domaines qui conduisent au développement les jeunes euh, s'engagent en tant que volontaires dans ce domaine-là. Ici à Madagascar, nous avons un ministère qui se charge du volontariat et nous avons aussi une loi sur le volontariat à Madagascar. Donc, à Madagascar, le volontariat, on mise surtout sur le volontariat des jeunes. Concernant l'Union africaine, il y a une plateforme qui est constituée depuis plusieurs années sur la plateforme du volontariat. Donc, et là, actuellement, l'Union africaine, le responsable du volontariat, le volontariat est rattaché aux divisions des jeunes. Et actuellement, il y a un projet sur le premier état du volontariat en Afrique. Il travaille sur ce premier état du volontariat en Afrique. Ça se passe actuellement. Et aussi, il y a une plateforme d'échange sur le volontariat. Je suis disponible si vous avez des informations ou des questions concernant tout ce que j'ai présenté tout à l'heure. Merci.
Merci. Richard, thank you for joining, but please hold on and please don't unmute your mic, okay? Kindly don't unmute your mic yet until you are given the go ahead to do so, all right? Thank you very much. Winnie, 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 before I translate what Madame Joël said, Winnie, let's have your take on the importance of collaboration on the African continent and volunteering as well. From your side in Madagascar with Madame Joël as well. Thank you very much, Winnie. Oh, she's left the meeting. Her connection. Her connection. Okay, what Madame Joël was basically talking about was the fact that the African Union has a division that actually teaches and supports volunteering. She, on the part of Madagascar too, she has actually organized projects and programs about volunteering and a whole lot. So she was actually drawing from case studies from Madagascar and case studies from the African Union Division of the Youth, where they actually promote volunteering activities amongst the youth. That was the brief that she said. Khaled, today everybody is basically, I think you, me, we are basically facing a whole lot of internet challenges. Honorable, Your Excellency Ididi, I just say Ididi, please, as a focal person in Africa, what has your interaction with people of public figure, the likes of Professor Lumumba, Julius Malema, Joshua Maponga, and here Kwame Nkrumah. Because the first time you met me, you mentioned Kwame Nkrumah. It
I
means
beg
our
your
leader.
pardon.
Yeah, I'm coming. It means our leaders have actually done stuff that have actually influenced us. How has the positive influence of our previous leaders shaped our mind to actually continue the great works and to also change some of the challenges we are facing today?
Okay, Miss Dako, what surely we have to understand is the old ideas that were built by the African founder fathers. For example, when you look at the idea of the African Union, despite the fact that the formation of the African Union organization had division amongst President Julius Nyerere and the President Kwame Nkrumah, whereby Kwame Nkrumah had thought that the African Union must be for uniting Africa. Though President Julius Nyerere was like, no, we cannot work for unity right now. First of all, have to work on regional blocks and the regional unity, then come international unity as Africa. This idea is right now prevailing and it will never die. It has, it has and it will play a very big role in the interactions of all Africans in Africa and in the diaspora. And it is the common entity that is keeping us as one people, maintaining one culture, apart from having the common skin color that we are having as being chocolate, as being dark, as being brown, and whatever I may say. So the interaction of the old founder fathers up to right now is the spirit that is driving us to move. Just very natural, like the blood that moves in our veins, and like how strong the cat can climb the tree with its natural paws. So looking at is very important. So today we are considering a lot of things from this. One of them is look at what Professor T.H.O Lumumba is teaching us today. It is the major thing that we are promoting, and it is the old idea. Economic transformation cannot be achieved with a mental retarded mind. It will never. Kwame Nkrumah made it very clear that the Western powers, if we are not united, right now we are speaking because we are united, me, you, and everyone in here, we are united. The reason why we are united is because we have common intentions of a good Africa. Kwame Nkrumah said that if you are not united and form a good economic system for Africa, then the West will come and exploit you and take all that you have in neo-colonial tendency. And of course, we didn't get united during that time. We considered things personal, as I said previously. We thought that having borders is very important. Greed for power is very important. Everybody to be called the president is very important. We didn't consider common basic things that unity is the primary cause of success and strength in every community. So now we are still playing a strong role in unity. Look at in West Africa where military coups are very prone. Those are the ideas of Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, ideas of Cabral, ideas of Herere, ideas of Mandela. It is now what Africans are looking at. They are now refusing the French rule there because they are looking at how they can sustain their economies. They are looking at how they can develop their countries. We either have champagne for individual or a few of us, or good hygienic water for all. So those ideas are still shaping every community. And a community that is not willing to protect itself is a community that will be changed and used by everybody for its own. And very well, we must make it clear that every person who builds a road
has intention to pass in that road. You can't build the road and you can't pass there. Why are you building the road? Why are you building the stadium and yet football is not going to be played and yet stadium, media and everything is not going to be done there? What is the problem? So we'll realize that everybody who comes to Africa in the name of helping Africa is using Africa. Is using Africa and he wants something in Africa. So all we can do, because we don't have what it takes for us to refuse them, is try to use now knowledge. We can say that we don't want China, but we need China. China is using what we call the stealing the patents and rights. And when it steals the right of a given Africa, a given country, for example, the United States, they've been complaining that China is stealing their designs, their rights. But we are finding it very possible that they are developing in a very fast rate. And there is propaganda moving right now that China is collapsing because they don't have talent, ability to innovate, since they stole the innovation rights of America, Russia, and Europe. That is propaganda. They're just manipulating us. So if you can steal ability to create something, I tell Africans, bring that right, because it is what we need. It is what pushed China to where it is right now. Don't, in this world, you either be used or you use somebody. It is true.
Or you collaborate, you can say that.
You collaborate. So if you fail to collaborate, then make sure that you are very strong to be able to use that person. That is what those world powers are doing. As John, as a, as Charles Darwin said that the theory of the superior, I mean the powerful, will always predate from the weak.
Thank you.
So,
We'll pause you there and then come back to you. Winnie keeps leaving the
okay.
meeting. Maman Comparé, est-ce que vous êtes prêt à donner quelques paroles sur l'importance de la collaboration entre les jeunes en Afrique? Maman Comparé, if you are there. Okay, Chimbare. Hi, Chimbare. Ok, maman.
Allô,
Allô.
bonjour.
Bonjour, maman
Bonjour,
Comparé.
Madame Darko. Oui,
Bonjour.
comment vous allez?
Nous allons
Bonjour à tout
bien.
le monde. Merci beaucoup de m'avoir associé à cette réunion. Je m'excuse parce que je suis en déplacement, comme je l'avais dit. Donc, je me présente brièvement et puis voilà. Je
Oui.
vais continuer d'écouter et une fois arrivé, je vais intervenir si ce n'est pas fini.
Ok, c'est pas grave.
Voilà, donc je suis comparée maman, comme Madame Darko vient de le dire. Je suis gestionnaire de ressources humaines ici au Burkina Faso. Je suis également directeur général d'une entreprise. Voilà, et je suis la présidente d'une association féminine dénommée Association des femmes actives du Burkina Faso. Je vous remercie, Madame Darko. Donc, je vous reprends tout à l'heure dès que j'arrive à la maison.
Ok, merci. That was Madame Compare from Burkina Faso. She's actually also engaged in a lot of youthful activities in Burkina Faso. She happens to be the president of an all-female organization and the director general of an organization that protects human rights in Burkina Faso. I have had quite an interaction with her. I have had quite an interaction with her, and she's actually doing great. But currently, she's actually indisposed. She's actually handling issues of the youth in a rural area in Burkina Faso. So she'll join us soon. Dr. AC.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to ask a question while you were trying to get the next speaker on.
Yes, please.
So may I go ahead with the question?
Yes, please, you can go
so
ahead.
my question is this. My question is this. When we speak of the youth, it sounds as though they are one body that is similar. But I know we all do recognize that the youth is a very, heterogeneous body or group. So when we speak about the youth collaborating or when we speak about engaging the youth, which level of the youth are we thinking about? Because why I'm asking this is when I look at Ghana, which is where I am, I walk the streets of Accra, sometimes Kumasi, Tamale, different parts of Ghana. It seems to me that the youth who are the youth who are disadvantaged and who maybe have not had as much exposure or don't have as much opportunity for exposure are so many more than those who do get the exposure and can talk about collaboration and can be on platforms like this. So my question was, how do we engage the different types of youth that make up, the youth in Africa? So that's just a question that I wanted to ask and hear what your thoughts are. Yeah, thank you.
Khaled Kasim, this is your question. Tafadra Chimbare, this is to all of us. Nano Wusu, those of us who actually engage in rural areas. Khaled, you were handling that. Madame Joël, j'espère que vous avez compris la question. Khaled Kasim. Khaled, you have to talk. This question is for all of us. Which level of youth are we looking at? Ok. Alors, Madame Joël, Dr. Essi nous a demandé quel niveau ou bien quelle catégorie de la jeunesse est-ce qu'on se concentre? Parce que comment est-ce qu'on peut engager les jeunesses ou bien les jeunesses dans les sociétés rurales, ceux qui sont dans les villages? Comment est-ce qu'on peut les engager vu qu'ils n'ont pas l'occasion, comme nous avons, à faire les discussions, à contribuer comme nous faisons ici aujourd'hui? Comment est-ce qu'on peut les engager? Arsène Bailey, if you are here, we would like to also have your take on this question. Which level of youth are we looking at, especially those in the rural areas who are not as much as exposed to us? And Ididi Rochbell, Marilyn, you can also give your take. I mean, this is a question for all of us. This is a question for all of us. Joseph Biden, welcome. Sorry, it's actually Baden. Joseph Baden, welcome. Okay, Cabrel, let's have your take. Vous avez la parole. I'm beginning with Cabrel, please. Cabrel, vous avez la parole.
Oui, Janet. Merci de m'avoir donné la parole. Tout à l'heure, quand j'ai pris la parole, je n'ai pas eu...
2 minutes, 2 minutes, at least maximum 2 minutes to all of us for this discussion.
Ok. Déjà, nous avons deux niveaux de participation. Il y a les participations au niveau local et les participations au niveau international. Alors, pour les participations au niveau local, généralement, ce qu'on fait, c'est que comme les projets au niveau local ont souvent soit des programmes de participation ou alors on a des plans de développement qu'on élabore au niveau local, ce qu'on fait généralement, c'est que on passe d'abord par des campagnes de sensibilisation pour permettre aux jeunes de savoir qu'il y a quelque chose qui arrive. Et les campagnes de sensibilisation, on les fait grâce aux autorités locales, donc aux chefs traditionnels qui sont dans la localité. C'est grâce à eux qu'on réussit à relayer le message, à faire passer le message aux populations, aux jeunes qui sont dans la localité et les informer qu'il y a des activités que nous allons mener dans la localité. Ça, c'est le premier niveau. Maintenant, au niveau international, ce genre de conversation comme ça sur Internet, étant donné que dans les zones reculées, il n'y a pas Internet et c'est très compliqué de pouvoir donc faire participer les jeunes des zones qui sont éloignées aux activités comme ça, ce qu'on fait généralement, c'est que Bon, ce que nous, on peut faire, ce qu'on envisage faire, c'est que désormais, dans les prochaines activités de cette envergure, on travaille d'abord avec les chefs traditionnels pour qu'ils puissent passer le message aux jeunes qui sont dans les localités éloignées, donc aux jeunes de leur localité. C'est la première des choses. Deuxièmement, on regroupe des jeunes à des points bien précis et on met donc des écrans géants qui vont permettre qu'ils puissent participer à la réunion. Maintenant, pour augmenter le signal d'Internet, il y a des outils qu'on met sur place pour pouvoir augmenter le signal d'Internet afin que tous les jeunes puissent pouvoir suivre la réunion. Vous savez, chez nous au Cameroun, il y a des endroits où il y a Internet et des endroits où il n'y a pas Internet. Les endroits où il y a Internet, il y a une technologie, j'oublie le nom, qu'on utilise pour pouvoir augmenter le signal d'Internet. Et grâce à ça, alors, cet endroit où ils sont réunis, ils peuvent donc suivre cette activité et participer pleinement. Merci.
Merci. Thank you very much, Cabral. So, Dr. AC, the response, Cabral of Cameroon said that he actually categorizes them into two, local and international. For the local side, sensitization campaigns, and this because of how they have some form of trust issues, because they can't really believe that what you are coming to say actually can apply to them, because your orientation and your exposure is totally different. Where we are is also totally different. So they actually reach out to them and ensure that messages reach each and every one of them through their traditional leaders, through the traditional officers, to be able to pass on the messages, to be able to also expose them to certain activities. Honestly, presently speaking, an organization in Ghana called Speaker Incorporated actually does an asynchronous model of education for people in the Volta region, where you have to cross the river. What they do is that they help the students the youth there between the ages of 13 to, I think 13 is not even youth, but children 13 to 17. So 13 to 15, writing DECE, they do an asynchronous model for them to learn about technological skills. They give them laptops, they give them teachers who actually teach them there in the local languages. So as the teacher is teaching online with internet, the teachers there also translate the local dialects for them. So these are some of the things that they do because honestly, getting those in the rural areas to believe you now has become a challenge, because they see that you are different. They are also different. So what exactly do you have that you think you can actually bring on board to actually change their lives, basically? Because they talk too much, like Ididi said, we are talking too much and acting very little. And Cabral also said the international level conversations like this. But even with that, there are areas in Cameroon who have internet issues. So stuff like that, there's a technology where they actually pre-record some of their discussions, go there and play it for them on big screens as well. And you know the problem of internet in Africa, back-to-back issues all the time. So these are some of the things he actually said. Now, His Excellency Ididi, let's have your take on that. And I think, Khalid, if you are here, and Chimbari, the question is that, which level of youth are we looking at? And how do we engage, especially those in the rural areas who do not have this much exposure to actually understand what we actually do? Because if the youth seems like one similar body, that's what Dr. AC said. So which level of youth are we looking at? Because what if they are not exposed like us? And how do we engage them? So Chimbari, this will be your question after I'm done with Ididi Rochbell. So Ididi, 2 minutes. Let's have your take.
Okay, the level of the youth that we have to take through this is a youth that has at least got some level of education, that is able to get information and use internet to be able to access information in all centers of the world. Because as I said earlier on in my presentation, that we are living on information age. If you are behind the curtain, you can't be able to get information. And if you are ahead of it, then you are far better than anybody else. So one of the things that we have to encourage our governments and every agencies around us, if they think and if we believe that they have to work with us for socio-economic transformation, for this uninformed youth is providing public networks. For example, Wi-Fi. Example here in Tanzania, Dr. Bakari, who is the regulator of public Wi-Fi, announced last week that they are providing public Wi-Fi in Tanzania, that is in Dar es Salaam, which means that living in the information age is very key in the socio-economic transformation of Tanzania. Though I'm a Ugandan, the government should really implement this because we are crying off information every time. Look at what we are doing. There are a lot of content creators, there are a lot of information freelancers and all those kinds of people. So if those redundant youths do not have information, have access to internet, then they are going to learn a lot of things that will make their lives change. And information will be passed to another and life will change. So that is the target of the youth level that we have to look at. Back to you, Janet.
Thank you very much. Youth with some form of education. Okay, Nana Usu, let's have you. Today's discussion is actually very interesting. Nana Usu, let's have you. Nana, you have the floor.
Okay. So I think what the two speakers spoke about was awesome, and looking at the specifics with the type of youth we are focusing on. For me, I think as we always say, looking at the as in Ghana and some regions and other things. For me, I don't have any experience can actually when they come together to collaborate and also do other things. I think that one also helps. Yeah. So I think for me, I didn't really have anything to say. Just that I think it was a mistake clicking on. Yeah. The yeah. Thank you.
Thank you too. You know what? I think that
Hi,
from
Janet.
okay, Khaled, talk. It's been a while since we heard your voice, so talk. Yeah. Hi. Dr. Essie is listening. Khaled, are we still losing you? Hello, Khaled. Okay, so when he comes, okay, let's have you. Or you want to type it? You can type it because we can't hear you.
My, my 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 network is playing around. My apologies.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just wanted to comment on the issue of those that are in rural areas.
Okay. You can type it. Type it. All right. Type it. Kindly type it. We'll read it out, and it would even display here. So Tafajwa, before I come to you, I think that sometimes, to me, I think that if your attention are not drawn, especially those of us with these kinds of exposures, if you don't come across it or your attention is not drawn to it, you really don't see it that much because you go to international school, you are done, you go here, you go there, and you are
So
done.
with regards to that, we can engage
Okay.
secondary schools that are in rural areas, and then we on it's okay.
All right. Thank you. Basically, my attention has been drawn to it because someone said, have you looked at this person? Have you looked at that person? I'm like, yeah, there's a foundation going on for these people. So then, since I have never been to any rural area, to be frank, but I reach out to people who operate in rural areas, and I have I have actually done community engagement and rural integration. So I ask, what and what and what do you think? I watch the videos. I say, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Do they need books? Let's go there and listen to what they actually need. Some of them actually don't need internet. They need food. Some of them don't need food. They need shoes to wear. So how do we give them books? Yeah, there's a reading club to go to those rural areas. Some of them need to actually be forced to. Can you imagine? There was this lady we were exposed to for education, and she got a scholarship, and because she didn't have this exposure previously, she was told by a guy that if you go, another guy will take you from me. So she forfeited the scholarship and didn't continue her education. So if we are starting, thank you so much, Dr. Isi, for this question. If we are starting, we need to start from the children for them to actually see. Because most of the children, earlier this year, I had a discussion on education and parental orientation with Glory First Way Foundation in Nigeria. And one of the experts said the parents' orientation are as low as how the children's orientation are. So they don't see it as a must for them to push their children to look for better stuff. You are at an age, they see that you can give birth, they let you give birth. They see you can go to the farm, they let you go to the farm. Some actually have to fight the parents. The parents actually go to the offices to fight the teachers. Why are you taking my child to school? That child must go to the farm. That child must do this. So that youth level and how and luckily I had the opportunity to also interact with the youth by the roadside, and I said, what are you doing? She said, me, school is not for me. All I need is money. That is what has been put in his mind. All he needs is money. If once he can make money, he's cool. So thank you very much, all of us. I think we need to actually recalibrate our bearing and also see that it's not just starting from the youth, because when you are building a house, we don't start from the middle, we start from the foundation, so that we can also recalibrate our bearings to the children, and as they grow, certain skills will be scraped off, and then gradually we all achieve this, and then know that we are looking at this category of youth. And if we are also looking at a certain category of youth with education, let us impact them so that they will not see anything wrong to go back and impact those who don't have that much level of education, because that's what I'm currently doing right now. I saw that now most of the youth actually know what we are already doing. Why don't we impact those who can also reach easily to those in the rural areas too? And there's a lady who is actually doing great. We give her money to do that, and she's actually doing great. At least she has started with 5 in her area, and that out of those 5, if one person could reach out to 3, 5 is 15, and then that is how we expand our reach. Thank you very much, Dr. Isi, for that question. Joel says, I'm going to read it in French and then read it in English. Pour Madagascar, il y a d'abord des campagnes de communication pour les actions à entreprendre. Les jeunes dans le brousse peuvent avoir les informations pour les biais des autorités ou des associations œuvrant dans le brousse. Les associations œuvrant dans le brousse. Les formations sont à organiser et les jeunes volontaires travaillent après. In Madagascar, it's the same as education, communications and campaigns for sensitization actions, and then the youth in the rural areas could have these these information to their understanding, and to also, she said, by the bias of authority. In fact, yes, authorities choose where informations go, and there's nothing we can do about it, because they know they find themselves in the places of power. So thank you, madam, for your good work in Madagascar and educating the youth, bringing them together, organizing them, and then volunteerism happening after that. Volunteerism work happening after that. Thank you very much, Madam Joelle. Today you are doing wonderfully well with the English. That's good. Okay, thank you so much. So far the discussion has not been exhausted, but we have to bring it to an end. Thank you so much for joining from the 22nd of July to today, 22nd of July, 29th, 5th of August, and today we wrap up today. Thank you so much, Muhammad Kuka, Ahmed Salam, Tafajwa Chimbare, Tolusha Francis, Dr. Gideon Anoba, Nana Owusu, Enomi Christantos, Ididi Rochebell, Connie Lulanga, Cabral, Joel. Today, Winnie's internet has been killing her. She has been texting me back and back. Mama Comparé, merci pour votre temps. Marilyn, thank you so much for making it today. Dr. AC, thank you so much. It's been amazing with you. Joseph Baden, thank you so much. And of course, Richard, who wouldn't let his mic mute, thank you so much. I think I would like to give 1 minute to anybody who wants to give a closing remarks to this. And then watch out for our brochure. Our brochure will be coming from when we started to today. And it doesn't end there. Every 2 weeks, we're going to have a discussion from every nation. We are trying to reach out from every country, back right from Egypt, Tunisia, if possible Libya, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Angola, to have a discussion on the youth in Africa. Somebody says we should have a mini African Union from these discussions, and hopefully we will achieve that, but it is a step-by-step issue. So Arsene, your hand is up, and then after that I go to Mama Compare. Arsene, let's have you.
All right. So my greetings to everybody. I'm Arsene Bailey from Burkina Faso. I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity that you have been given to me to partaking in this meeting. And I wish to be part of this kind of meeting for the next sessions to come. Today, unfortunately, because of the network issues, I wish I could have a talk, but I think the next time will be the better. So just to say thank you so much to all the youth from everywhere in Africa. Thank you, and together we will do more and fast as possible. Thank you. God bless us.
Thank you too. Maman Comparé, vous avez la parole. Okay, Tafajwa, let's have you.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, everyone, for joining this event. On behalf of Kind Hope Organization, I would like to thank you all. Let me just quote our great Kwame Nkrumah: action without thought is empty. Thought without action is blind. So as we celebrate this International Youth Day, I want to challenge our young people to continue to call for accelerated action and standing together in solidarity to designing solutions and ensure most vulnerable people helped. So this is what I just wanted to say. Thank you very much, Janet.
Thank you very much too. Thank you so much, everybody, for making it. Thank you so much. Thank you to my friends from the Gambia, Togo, Burkina Faso, Benin, Ghana for thank you so much. Uganda, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Nairobi, South Africa, Lesotho, Ethiopia, Congo. They've been joining. Madagascar. A friend from Seychelles actually joined but left because of internet. I think that we need to contribute to set up our own satellite in space. Thank you so much, friends from Burkina Faso. Thank you so much for gracing this. This actual African discussion has been great, and it has actually proven to all of us that we can actually reach out to each and everyone, and that language barrier has never. That was the goal of this whole thing. We wanted to prove that language barrier is not a problem, as it has always been. There is someone who speaks your language somewhere. So when you get somewhere, try saying hi or hello in your language, and definitely someone who even has a basic understanding of your language will pop up. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you from Kenya. Richard says thank you. He's been texting me a lot. Thank you so much for your time. And for those of us in Ghana, it doesn't end there. When we call for homecoming meetings, please attend. Thank you so much. This Saturday, there's a program, 26th August. We are continuing our youth, International Youth Day. It doesn't end. We are continuing with a book reading club with Captain Retired P.K. Amwabin, the former CEO of UT Bank at the Kaukudi National Library at 10 a.m. 26th August. Those of you in other countries, don't worry, I'll take pictures and I'll put it in our various groups. Thank you so much. And then we continue with the mental health and the African Reformative Initiative Conference in Uganda. It doesn't just end. We have started something and we are going to see it through. Thank you so much. And watch out for another international, but within the African continent, discussion on creation of jobs, right from Tribe Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, me, some of our friends. It's a whole different national discussion. Thank you so much. And remember, you alone are enough to make the change you want to see. This is by Dr. A.C. Say. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, which of course we are going to meet again from here, it is a wrap. And let's never stop doing the good we are supposed to do. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely weekend. You've been with me from 4 p.m. till now, 7 p.m. till now, 5 p.m. till now, 6 p.m. till now, wherever you are. Some of you are even in Jamaica. Rashida joined and left. I wanted us to have a taste of Jamaican language, but we shall get that soon. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's a wrap. God bless us all. Bye.
Thank you for
Thank
handling the
you. Bye
meeting.
bye.
Goodbye.
Merci. Au revoir, Madame
Merci.
Daco. À
Well
la
done.
Merci.
prochaine.
Merci,
À la
merci les amis,
prochaine.
Bravo.
merci à tous, au
Au
revoir,
revoir,
à
Joël.
la
Au
Au
revoir.
prochaine.
revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.